Hey friends, I hope you're doing good. Growing up, I was infatuated with Frog and Toad, as I'm sure many of us were, all thanks to our elementary school libraries. From the simplistic earth tone color palette to Frog and Toad's ever-growing relationship, they were just roommates. From all of the genuine lessons that really stuck with you from each book, to just flipping through and feeling all that nostalgia, Frog and Toad have been and will always be my favorite amphibians. Apart from you, Toadie. I mean, if you couldn't already tell by my shirt that's a little bit hidden here, I think I might just take this off and just take my jacket off. I thrifted this beautiful baby just a few weeks ago, and let me tell you now, my 2024 secondhand haul is going to be absolutely fabulous. But let me stay on topic. In fact, I actually just did a Frog and Toad cosplay, but once that is edited, I will be sure to put that on my community post area here on YouTube, but also on Instagram at kel.sharp, where you can find all of my other cosplays. And one more thing before I forget, I did my nails! I'm so happy with how they turned out. I will do a much better close-up little b-roll thing for you guys, but of course I did yellow and green for Frog and Toad, but then my assistant gave me the beautiful idea to do little blades of grass on the yellow nails, and I think that just looks so lovely. It's so dainty, a nice pop of color. As you can see the stickers here, I did a daisy and a butterfly and then a bicycle, because that is a little ode, right? Is that the correct word? An ode to something? Anyways, when I first had the idea for this video, I saw this photo and I'm like, I'm gonna recreate that. That is so cute. But then I had a little brainstorming session, and then I came up with something really super duper cute that I'm excited to show you. But anyways, I put the bicycle on my nails, just a little ode to that. As someone with many artistic hobbies, I tend to go back and forth between one thing to another, but primarily just painting and sewing. It's actually been quite a while since I put some time and energy into a piece of art that was just for me, and I feel like now is a perfect time to do it, now that spring is approaching and I'm feeling more up to it. You might recall back in my 2023 secondhand haul when I showed this beautiful frame off, and then I mentioned wanting to do a paint with me. And so that is precisely what I will be doing today, a paint with me. So please feel free to grab your own art supplies, a pad of paper, whatever you wish to work with today, and just sit down, relax, and do a little bit of art with me. And stabilize. So you may be sitting there pondering, why did Kelly decide to do a Frog and Toad piece? Well, let me tell you. One day I was scrolling on YouTube, as one does, and I saw a Frog and Toad read aloud. So I clicked it, and I enjoyed it. I hadn't read or watched or viewed or heard a Frog and Toad book since elementary school, and so that really just was a nostalgic moment, and that quickly inspired this idea. The read aloud is from the book Days with Frog and Toad, specifically the story titled Tomorrow. That story is about Toad. Basically, he keeps putting things off because he wants to relax. But then Frog makes him realize that, hey, if you don't get some things done today, it will keep on piling up and you will have even more to do tomorrow. So Frog and Toad work together and get all the chores done, and then they both feel really good and relaxed at the end, and they're happy that they got their things done, because procrastination. Anyways, I am a fellow procrastinator. Got that one, okay. So this story really stood out to me, and I really have that same mentality that, hey, I can just put something off and it'll be there tomorrow, and then I'll just do it tomorrow. But that doesn't happen, does it? Within the past couple years, maybe 2 or 3 years, I've had this thought going through my head: if I don't get it done now, when will I? And I feel like it really ties to this story, because that's the truth. If you don't get something done now, when will you? With painting, I mainly work with acrylic and sometimes watercolor, but mostly acrylic. But for today, I want to try something different. I want to do a little mixed medium kind of thing, which I really haven't dabbled with since grade school. And I don't know why. It's very fun and I recommend doing it. But I really wanted to do a mixed medium because the art style in the books, it looks to me like a watercolor, maybe a gouache. Is that how you say that type of paint? But then it looks like it's just outlined with a fine point pen. And I really love that look, but it's something that I have not done in a while at least. So I was thinking of just grabbing my sketchbook, doing a little sketch, doing some watercolor, and then outlining with a fine point pen or marker, of course on watercolor paper. I really want to stay on the art path of Arnold Lobel, the artist and author of these books, but I also kind of want to dabble with more of a Studio Ghibli art style. I just love how whimsical it all is, and I feel like it all kind of ties together. It's very natural, organic. And actually last night I treated myself to a little movie night and I watched Totoro for the first time in what seems like forever, and I just love that movie so much. It's just so heartwarming and beautiful, and the world, the landscaping, the artistic style is absolutely breathtaking. If you have not seen this movie, or any Studio Ghibli film for that matter, I highly recommend watching one. Also, the music, so good. But another style that I kind of want to incorporate is from the original Pixie Hallow book series that you might remember from your childhood. I have always been so captivated by that artist. I've always been so captivated by that artistic style. Just the way it's so angelic and glowy, and just, yeah, I really want to incorporate that somehow into this painting, and I feel like that's a good inspiration to look at for that type of thing. So the overall vibe is going to be basically the original Frog and Toad with a little Studio Ghibli, with a little original Pixie Hallow book series style. So I'm hoping for a really pastel, warm, glowing, inviting, I can't think of other words to go with this, but yeah, that vibe. Okay, I feel I have gibbered and jabbered enough at this moment, and it's time to get into this paint with me. So grab your stuff, get cozy, grab a snack, stay hydrated, and let's get to work. Alrighty friends, I always like to begin my painting projects by making a rough draft of some sort. So I grabbed one of my sketchbooks and went to town. I began with jotting down some notes about what I was envisioning for the overall vibe. In me noggin, I was picturing a beautiful, bright, glowing sunset that was bursting with color, sun flares, and twinkling stars. I was also envisioning rolling hills with colorful flower fields, cattails and lily pads, a gorgeous weeping willow tree, and of course, the dapper duo Frog and Toad. As I started to add color, it really came to life, and I became so much more excited to continue the project. I wanted the rolling hills to fade off into the distance, so to achieve that, I decided to make them more of a muted, cool-toned color. I also did this for any place that a shadow would be, since shadows are typically a cooler tone of the actual color and light. This also adds a lot of depth and dimension, which further brings it to life. Going into the art style, let's talk about the story that prompted today's video. In the book, Days with Frog and Toad is the story titled Tomorrow. Long story short, even though they're all short stories, Toad is in a slump and has many things piling up on his to-do list. From the moment he wakes up, he's instantly hit by a boatload of stress and discomfort from his place being in shambles. "I'll do it tomorrow," Toad kept saying. Then Frog asked why he was down in the dumps, and Toad said that he's thinking about tomorrow and all the things that he'll have to do. But then Toad gets to thinking and comes to the conclusion that if he does just one little thing today, then it's one less thing that I'll have to do tomorrow. So eventually he gets everything done in one day and has the next day, tomorrow, to relax. Like I mentioned in the intro, I found a read aloud for the story of Tomorrow here on YouTube, but after doing my research for this video, I found a PDF that includes all 5 stories from the Days with Frog and Toad book, and I will have that linked below for you guys to check out because I know you will want to read those stories. Also, please consider subscribing and liking this if you enjoy artistic, sustainable themed content. This channel has become a very big part of my life, and it's something that really brings me a lot of joy, and it's become a big passion of mine. And I would absolutely love the opportunity to make money from this because that would be pretty cool. So please subscribe to help me get that much closer to being eligible for monetization. Your support honestly means everything to me, so thank you! Okay folks, now it's time to start the painting. I grabbed an old sheet of watercolor paper that I had used for a previous project because you gotta reduce and reuse and recycle. It was somehow almost the exact size of the frame that I was using, which is fabulous. So I attempted to remove the backing and then decided that I should trace the glass itself and not the backing, even though they're the same size and shape. But then my brain started working and the gears started cranking and I traced the backing onto the watercolor paper. And even though you can't see it, I then cut it down to size. And now it's time for painter's tape. I heard that you can use washi tape, which I do have, but I don't know how that would stick with the paper getting wet repeatedly, so I opted for regular painter's tape and cut that down into thin strips to place around the border. This step isn't technically necessary, however, it was legit my first time doing it, and it makes a huge difference in the process because it prevents bubbling and curling. Astonishing, I know! I then tried my very best to clean up this repurposed piece of paper and then used my pixie powers to find the center of the paper, which will be the perspective, aka where the leading lines will flow to. This will help with the perspective of the clouds, the water source, and the boardwalk. And my dear Hello Kitty hamburger then assisted me with drawing a sketch out onto the paper, and I highly recommend having a motivational cat figurine in your workspace. While I have your attention, I'd like to take this moment to share an iOS shortcut that automatically sends ceasefire emails daily to your local representatives. It takes less than 2 minutes to set up, and it makes a tremendous impact. This shortcut was created by Gen Z for Change, and the link will be included in the description below for you to download, along with a fully updated list of brands to boycott. The big 3 are McDonald's, Starbucks, and Disney. Boycotting makes an incredible difference, and in just the past 2.5 months, McDonald's has lost over $7 billion. And since October 2023, Starbucks has lost over $12 billion. You vote with your money. The products you purchase and the brands you support will always have an impact. Please check out the links below. Thank you. On a lighter note, let's get back to drawing. I'm making circular clouds because I found that in my inspiration photos for Studio Ghibli, that's probably how the clouds were drawn. But nonetheless, it actually really helps when coloring with different shades to add dimension. Now, it's time for the amphibians! So I originally wanted to create this photo of the duo riding a bike together, but then I saw a photo of them sailing in a boat, and I was instantly like, yes, I'm doing this! Not only because it would be easier to draw, which is certainly not a reason, but I wanted to incorporate water anyways, so a boat would only make sense. Also, I think it would be really fun to do an art tour with all of my paintings, sketchbooks, sculptures, ceramics, embroidery, and all the good stuff. And that will be on my to-do list. But also, did you know that Olive can defy gravity?
What the dog doing?
But anywho, I made a little mock version with a smaller sheet of watercolor paper so I can get a good picture of what the picture would look like. And I'm really glad I did this because I was able to test layering with certain colors on top of one another So I do recommend doing this. And then I got a little thirsty, and I think it's time to just let you guys listen to the music and I'll stop talking. Well, I have certainly learned a whole lot over the course of this video. Watercolor is very different from acrylic, obviously, but everything has to be 100% totally completely dry before adding another layer, or else it will all blend together. This type of paint mixes in layers a lot differently than what I'm used to working with. So here are some things that I learned along the way that I'd love to share. Start with light layers and only go deeper as you get towards the end, because you can't take that away. Planning your design and color palette beforehand will save you a world of stress and troubles. More pigment equals stronger color. You may think that adding water will just water it down, but it really just wakes up the paint and it's ready to be applied. Also, you can mix your own colors? Yeah, I don't know, man. In all my years of barely dabbling with watercolor, I guess I never tried, or at least thought that I could create my own colors with the pigments. But hey, I think that this is a great project to figure that out with. Because of this, I was able to mix and create more warm tones that weren't originally in the palette, like olive tones, warm purples, and salmon for the sun. If you're curious about what I used for this project, I will have all the products that I used in the description below if you want to check them out. However, I've had all of these supplies for at least half a decade now, and I did not do my research for any of these, but most of it was given to me by friends and relatives, so yeah. But hey, it all seems to be working wonderfully. One of my most recent paintings I did is on the side of my little cubby organizer thing where I store my makeup and other small trinkets. I'm really super happy and proud of how this one turned out, and I really wanted to implement some of those warm tones and vibes into this piece. But as you can see, it looks quite similar. But at least you know that I'm sticking with what I like, because if it ain't broke, why fix it? Alrighty, I think that's about everything that I have to say about this project, but please keep watching to see the final result. Remember to keep boycotting the big three: Starbucks, McDonald's, and Disney. There are so many more, and I will include a link in the description with a fully updated list of brands to boycott. Demand a ceasefire. If you have an iPhone, you can download this iOS shortcut that will automatically send a ceasefire email to your local representatives each day. You don't have to do anything, it takes 2 minutes to download. The link will be included down below. Also, be sure to check out my community tab in my Instagram at kel.sharp to see my Frog and Toad cosplay. I'm so happy with how the editing and styling came out, and I'm super excited for you guys to see it. Okay, I'm done yapping for now, and I really hope you guys are enjoying the music I selected for this very special video. I try to find some whimsical and uplifting tunes, and this next one is an absolute favorite of mine. It reminds me of Kirby and Studio Ghibli. By the way, I did film a painting process for that mini video, and I will post that again to my reels and shorts so it's easier for you guys to spot. I am so happy with how this turned out, guys. It looks just like how I imagined it, apart from that being a different style of branch. But hey, some things need to be changed, but that's okay. I love it, and I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this because it was so fun to make. Now, if you happen to doodle along with me, I would absolutely love to see what you guys came up with, whether that's frog and toad inspired or not. I would love to see it, and you can send me a photo on Instagram at kel.sharp, but please make sure to leave your Instagram handle down below. Otherwise, I will not know who to look out for, and I receive many a DM, mostly from bots, so I don't really look that often. On another note, please make sure to check out the link below to automatically send ceasefire emails to your local representatives daily through an iOS shortcut. If you do not have iOS, I still have another link below that has an updated list of brands to boycott, which you should always be looking at because it's always being updated. And heck, there are so many brands out there that just really aren't good that you should keep an eye out for. Do not stay silent. Please use your platform, your privilege, talk to your audience, start a conversation, and make sure you are voting, especially this year with a presidential election coming up. Do your research. But anywho, thank you so much for being here. I really truly do appreciate you guys and all of your support. And please make sure that you are subscribed because I believe it's 92.6% of you guys are not subscribed, even returning viewers. And Olive was telling me the other day that it makes her really sad that you guys don't want to stick around, but you should because Olive wants you here. But I would also love for you to stick around because I am this close to being eligible for monetization, all thanks to you guys and your support. So thank you so much for watching my videos, and please be sure to like this one because I loved working on it and this was so much fun. It's something that I've been wanting to do for quite a while now. It's a sustainable thrift flip, and it's something that I can check off of my to-do list, and yeah. So please like and subscribe and make sure to turn on my post notifications so you know when I upload next, because I have a very fashionable video planned that I'm super duper excited for. Well, alrighty, I do believe that's it. I hope you guys have a super duper weekend and following week and March and soon to be April. Time do be flying, huh? I'm sending you guys loads of love and I will see you on my next one. Bye.